Hello everyone, welcome to this video San Francier video. My name is Jay Wakefield, and today I want to talk to you a wee bit about a wee game that I've been playing. It's called Musical Dell Optiplex 380s. Now, basically the object of the game is kind of switch around and repurpose Dell Optiplex 380s in different places. There's no music involved. Anyway, some of you will have noticed in my last video, the one where I did a political rant about the state of the DWP, that a Dell Optiplex 380 was actually sitting in the background of that video on top of the Presario 2240. This Dell Optiplex 380. Now, you're probably wondering, gee, is that not your media center? What's it doing over there? Well, you know, I got to thinking. Windows 10 is out and has been now for over a month. And, you know, I've got to thinking that, actually, I really quite fancied having a Windows 7 machine over here to play about with. But not just for Windows 7. You see, Billy Corr has been talking to me for quite some time now. Probably just under a year. About the ideal Windows XP machine. I mean, this time last year we were talking about the ideal Pentium 3 machine and, you know, kind of what that would be. But recently, our thoughts have been turning to Windows XP. And, yeah, we only use things that are out of support. Have you noticed? No, I'm kidding on. We do have modern machines, guys. But we've been thinking a bit about Windows XP and how that, you know, is, you know, how we could build a really good system to run XP on. Bill, and especially Billy, has been talking about, you know, having a Core 2 Duo system to play about with XP on, because he thinks that, you know, and this is not actually too far off the truth, that Windows XP does play quite nicely with the Core 2 Duo. Now, I really got to thinking about making a Core 2 Duo system. And, well, last week I had a shot of it. I bought a motherboard off of Gumtree, which is probably the last place I should have bought it. But nevertheless, I bought it and, you know, put together a system, bought a 1TB hard drive and 2 gigs of DDR2 memory from CEX. Yes, we have them in the UK as well. And no, this is not going to turn into an episode of Greenham Gaming. You know, it's not going to be me kind of driving to Kex in a Honda Civic going, right, well, look at this. I've decided to buy Draenor a little present because I basically want him to run Windows 10. No, it's not going to be anything like that. And sorry, GHG, absolutely no offence intended. I do enjoy your videos. So, yeah, back to this one. So I've tried building a Core 2 Duo system using the LNX case. By the way, the FreeCycle PC that I built in that case, yes, it has gone, and it went in the Leon Lee case, the Leon T. Biscuit case, if you will. I just kind of find, don't get me wrong, I like Leon Lee cases. I just kind of find that one to be a wee bit unwieldy, and the fact that the board went in upside down, and the power supply, the cable for the power supply didn't stretch all the way to the cable on the motherboard because of the design, the wacky odd design of that case. But, you know, I did try building this Core 2 Duo system and, well, it didn't work. Tried putting Windows 7 on it. I had trouble booting up from the CD had trouble recognizing the 1 terabyte hard drive, had trouble getting XP to run on it, and I thought, okay, well, I'll try, a small hard drive and, try Linux on it, and, if it works, I'll free cycle it off. So I tried Linux Mint. It got pretty much to the end of installation and then decided it wasn't having any of that kind of nonsense. Try to boot to a Linux distro DVD. Well, try to install the primary partition on the hard disk. So I'll just kind of put that to one side. What I plan to do is I've actually ordered. Talking of a free cycle machine, I've actually ordered a blanking plate, an I/O shield for the system for the Gigabyte G31 board that I showed you back in January. So that build will be coming underway. I don't put broken builds, or at least I try not to. If I do put broken builds on FreeCycle, I will actually say on FreeCycle how the build is broken. But I'm hoping to make some working builds. But that Core 2 Duo system, that was going to be something for me. I mean, I bought the board, I'd, put some money in for memory and a hard disk drive. But sadly, it just wasn't to be. So, well, I decided to live by one of my old adages. That is, if all else fails, get a Dell. And that's exactly what I did. I got the Dell from underneath the television, and I thought, well, I'm going to repurpose this machine as, a dual boot Windows XP, Windows 7 machine. But what about the media center, you might be asking? Well, I thought of that one as well. The replacement for the media center is in this box. We're going to be unboxing it in a couple of minutes. But first, a wee bit more about this system. I took out the NVIDIA GeForce GT 210 from this system because I want to use it with the media center. I replaced it instead with an ATI Radeon HD 5450. It's what I had, guys. Like, yeah. If I could have had a choice of graphics cards in that kind of caliber, I would have actually chosen a GT 610. And before you start going on about how crap the GT 210 and the GT 610s are, put your mouths down, people. What you've got to remember is the power supply in these 380s are not overly powerful. And this is a low profile case. So, you need kind of a low profile graphics card. And the stuff that I'm wanting the system for anyway does not necessarily require an uber powerful graphics card. It'll be fine for the stuff that I'm doing. I used a GT 610 in my main machine for about 22 months. And it did me fine. I mean, okay, when I upgraded to the GTX 750, all hell broke loose. Basically I just released the system and let it fly. But really, if you're not playing the latest and greatest games, or if you're doing a bit of light gaming, with games from like a decade ago, the GT 610 is an absolutely fine choice for a graphics card. Now, you might be wondering, but do you have an XP machine? And indeed I do. The Dell Dimension 4600. It's living down there. There's nothing else kind of moving in down there. And I'm not quite ready to lock it up in a dark closet just yet. It's been too good of a machine to me, so it's still in regular use as a mid-2000s XP machine. Whereas this one is mostly going to be used as a Windows 7 machine, but, if I need anything more powerful but that runs Windows XP, it's going to be doing that, and it's going to be running a slightly different software build, as in, you know, slightly different versions of software that I usually use. So let's turn the attention now to the replacement for the media center. It's still in its box, and we're going to actually unbox it and set it up on this channel together. Now, have a pair of scissors, but safety first. If you are the sort of person that feels that the renewal of the Trident nuclear submarines is the right way to spend £500 million, then I would say that with a pair of scissors, you are a danger to yourself and others, and as such should get a responsible adult to help you with them. If you live in Scotland, hopefully you'll have, or live not too far from, an SNP MP that would be only too happy to help you actually get into the box. And you know, they probably would do that, because SNP MPs are just totally awesome. Also, if you're cutting stuff, you know, another facet of safety is make sure you've got a cup of tea to hand. Oh, that's a brilliant cuppy. Now, safety taken care of. I think that Trident is abhorrent and should have never even been commissioned in the first place. So, I'm just going to run the scissors through here. Unfortunately, the box did become a wee bit biffed en route to my house. So, or the Fortress of Compact, as it should be known, really. But hopefully the machine inside should still be okay. You know, one would hope. It is an Optiplex, so hopefully, you know, it should be well, but you never know. Ooh. Sorry, I'm just having a wee look, see, you know, making sure I'm not, you know, kind of showing any addresses or any incriminating evidence on the inside of the box. Yep. And I've already told you it's an Optiplex. Right, lifted the Optiplex out of the box. Throw the box across the room. Lay it down on the table. And then we find out that it's upside down. Now, some bampot has ripped off this Windows 7 CD key. Hopefully though, if I feed this machine a Dell Windows 7 Professional installation DVD, it should pick it up. So here it is. I'm going to do a wee kind of pan and scan around as best as I can on a tripod. Right guys, So you might think that this system looks remarkably similar to the one it's replacing. Well folks, that's because it is. It's actually another Optiplex 380. Now, I know some of you will not like that I've just went for the same again. Trust me on this one though. This is the best choice. These are quite cheap at the moment, and they are very expandable, and the low profile thing really does count for a lot as a media center. I didn't want the ultra small form factor because I wanted a proper DVD burner in here, but you know, having another 380, I don't think it's a bad thing. And again, I know it's against the oldcomputers.org collector's code of conduct that you know, I will not collect multiples of the same thing. But I'm not doing this for collection's sake. I'm actually doing this because both these machines have practical applications. And it's a Dell Optiplex. Yes, I do very much like the Dell Optiplex series of machines. So, there are a couple of things that I do need to do with this computer before I can actually slot it in underneath the television. First of all, this one actually came with 3 gigabytes of memory. So, now I was actually pricing up memory on Kex's website, and I was finding that you were able to buy 2 gig sticks of DDR3 memory for £8. Not a bad price, I thought, for memory. So I got 2 of them. Some of you will remember I tried to buy a 2 gig stick of memory for the original Optiplex 380, but it didn't work. But because I bought 2 of these, I was able to put one in there, which also has 3 gigs of RAM. Some of you will remember me upgrading it from 2 gigs to 3 gigs in January. I've now replaced the 1 gig stick with a 2 gig stick, making this 4 gigs of RAM. And I'm away to do the same with this wee system here. Also, I'm going to take the GT210 out of retirement. Not that it was really ever in retirement, it was just kind of between systems at the time. And I'm actually going to insert it into this system. Now, I did put the standard bracket back on the GT210 because I had to borrow the low profile bracket for the other Optiplex, and I thought, well, may as well just kind of screw that back in place, so I'm not, hopefully not losing screws and what have you. But this morning I did take delivery of a replacement low profile bracket. Now, I don't have the VGA counterpart, but that's okay because I'm not planning to use VGA, at least not once the media center is fully built. I will, however, use the VGA port temporarily, at least, to install this system, because what I've decided to do is install it in the retro computer corner, you know, so I can sit comfortably at a monitor before actually moving it over and plugging it into the television. Okay, let's get started, shall we? First off, what I'm going to do is upgrade the memory, and then I will sort out the hard drive. See, the 1 terabyte hard drive I bought from Kex ended up in the other Dell Optiplex 380, and the 500 gig drive out of it, well, it's going to go into this one. Now, I'm starting to confuse myself by trying to differentiate between these two systems here. So, with that, what I've done, and I've also done it as kind of a benefit to my network, and yes, I did get this idea from Greenham Gaming, actually. I've been watching some of his videos, so some of the ideas kind of stuck. I've decided to name the desktops that are connected to my network, apart from my main custom built, although that will probably get a name as well. I've decided to name the machines after locks in Scotland. So, and the Compact Presario 2240 doesn't have a name. That's just the Compact Presario 2240. And it's not connected to the network, nor will it ever be so. Anyway. So, over here, Dell Dimension 4100 is known as ETV, because it has a picture of Lock ETV on the desktop. Dimension 4600 is Lomond. This 380 is known as AW, as in Lock AW, as opposed to AWE64. And this one. What will I call this one? I know. I think this one can be Vinegar. Lock Vinegar. So, let's get on with this. Now, let's talk processors as well, actually. I actually did upgrade the CPU in AW. That one is now pulling a 3 GHz Core 2 Duo E8400. This one actually came with a 2.93 GHz. I think it was a 7500, or I can't mind what model number it was, but it's 293 GHz now. Yeah, hopefully it's a Wolfdale, because the one in AW is a Wolfdale chip. So, I now need to try and decide which memory module needs to be removed. This one, 1 gig of RAM. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace it with this one, which is 2 gigs of RAM. So what I will do, I will open up this packet. There we go. And then, basically as with any memory module, you just want to drop it into the slot, really. No innuendos needed, thank you. Click. Click. That was satisfying. Now, that's good. So, graphics card. How do we install a graphics card into this system? First of all, what we do is we install a low profile bracket. Here's the standard bracket. Here's the low profile bracket. As you can see, as you can see, low profile bracket is a lot smaller. The VGA part is actually just a header that connects to the card. So, what I need to do is I will actually need to unscrew I'll actually need to unscrew these standoffs and then pull the blanking plate, the back plate off, and replace it with the low profile one. So I'll just do that now. So, how to get rid of those standoffs? Well, actually not too difficult. What I need is a wee socket. Not sure what size this is, but I just kind of do it by trial and error, really. If can't usually read the sizes on this. Okay, I've just got it. It's a 6mm socket. Hopefully that will be the right size. You don't want one too big because it won't actually grip onto the standoff, and you don't want one too small because then it just won't even fit over the standoff. And I'm going to equip my Stanley screwdriver with it. Now, next thing I need to do is I can actually slip the socket over the standoff. And actually, it is a bit too big, but it has kind of loosened it. It has loosened it enough that I can actually unscrew this standoff with my thumb and finger. I want to keep these in a safe place because I will actually be screwing them back on. And actually, I'm going to try the next size down standoff. Although that might be a bit too small. Okay, this is a 5. This is a 5mm standoff. Sorry, 5mm socket. And we're going to see how well it does. So again, just kind of insert it into the screwdriver and see how it gets on. Actually, this is a much better fit. Some of them can be a bit too small. So literally what I do, once again, fit it over the standoff and then just turn the screwdriver, and in no time at all, the standoff is just about unscrewed. I'll just finish it off once again with my thumb and finger. There we go. So, what I'm going to do is I can pull this backing plate off and disconnect the VGA socket. Now, what we need to do now is actually fit the new back plate. So, just kind of open it up. Now, you'll notice this one does have the appropriate cutouts for DVI and HDMI. These are usually pretty standard. So all I need to do here is just put the back plate over the HDMI and DVI sockets, and you'll see it kind of fits. And we'll need to reinsert the standoffs, and there should be a wee screw, which I now have, that secures this part. That actually secures the blanking plate above the HDMI port. So, once again, what I'll do is I'll just, sorry, I'm doing this kind of slightly off camera, so I've got more of a hold on things. So I'll start these off by finger turning them. Oh yes, and keeping small parts visible, it is actually as difficult as you might think, being visually impaired. And once again, I'm going to use the socket to screw these in nice and tight. Obviously I don't want them going in too tight, but just, you know, kind of tight enough that they don't start unscrewing themselves when you're plugging in and unplugging cables. Not that I'll ever be using the DVI port, but still. You never quite know with these things, do you? I never thought I'd be using another Optiplex 380 with this kind, but oh well. So now the new backing plate is on. I'm just gonna swap out my socket set. In fact, I'm gonna swap out for a much smaller screwdriver. And I'm also going to have to teach that 6mm socket a thing or two about staying in its place in the box. There we go. So I want to now attach the wee screw. So I'll do that with my laptop screwdriver. So what I'll do, kind of insert the screw into the back of the card. If it'll go, hopefully it will. And there you have it. So this card is now ready to be installed. And the way that we're going to do that in this system is we need to remove one of these blanking plates. And the way to do that on the 380 desktop is you've got to lift up this purple tab, or not. Well, lift it. Usually you lift up the purple tab. Okay, that's a wee bit more concerning than I'd like, the fact that that doesn't seem to want to go down, or it seems to want to come up. That'll be fine. With the lid on it, it should kind of hold itself in place. Anyway, lift up the purple tab, and then you take it, and then you kind of lift it up and out. And what I want to do is pull upwards on this blanking plate and then put it to one side. Then what I will do next is I will reinsert this panel. There we go. Just needed screwed in properly. I bet if I was to... Oh no, it's still... Right. And this purple tab actually does hold the cards down as well, so... Anyway, what I need to do is just insert it now like I would any other PCI, well, any other expansion card really. PCI, PCIe, AGP, ISA, NDA, Visa, ESDI, whatever. Just kind of insert it like you normally would. And then you battle with it. And then you start to question everything you ever believed. And the card doesn't seem to want to go in. You push it back a bit. And then you push it down and it clips in nice and true. And you put the purple tab down. And now this is kind of staying put. I'm sure if I put enough force on it, it would actually come up and drag the card with it, but I would rather it didn't ever think about even trying that. Right, good. So, last but not least, the hard drive. So to access the hard drive, I need to actually lift the CD drive up and out. Oh, and before I forget, I'm going to keep this memory safe and sound. These DDR3 modules will come in handy at some point. So we've got 2 gigs of DDR3 RAM. You know, hopefully, you know, they should. Actually, no, I've got two 2 gig sticks. So I've got actually, I've actually got 4 gigs. No, I don't. No, I've got 2 1 gig sticks. Sorry, so I've got, yeah, 2 gigs. I'm thinking, what am I doing? I'm going to be replacing 2 gig sticks of DDR3 with 2 gig sticks of DDR3. There we go. There we go. So, 2 gigs in total then. Now, so I want to lift up another purple tab, or a metal tab that's got a piece of purple tape on it, and then just press the optical drive in the way, lower the purple tab, and then just kind of move it up and out. I'm not going to disconnect it, I'm just going to move it out the road. And now is the point where I start to despair. Now, I was told there was no hard disk in this machine. That's all very well and good. However, there is another slightly more pressing issue. And that there is no caddy for the hard disk. Oops. Now, like I said, I mean, I could drop a hard disk in there and be up and running. Not a problem. However, it's not going to do the hard disk any good if it's not actually properly secured in. Seriously, there's really no way to screw it in. So, what I'm going to have to do is, well, I'm just going to have to wait a wee while, you know, before I actually, you know, get a replacement hard drive caddy. So, what I probably can do is actually plug it in to the TV and just actually see if the thing works. Okay, so here we are. The system's connected up to HDMI and to the keyboard and mouse. So, let's power on the TV. Oh yeah, also the machine is getting power. Right. So, not sure how well you'll be able to see the TV because it's quite sunny at the moment. But, smoke test! Right, we're actually connected to the wrong HDMI channel. Excellent. So, so it's saying it's not found any SATA drives and that the amount of system memory has changed. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look at what's going on. The graphics card works, so that's good. Intel Core 2 Duo E7500, 2.93 GHz with a 1066 front side bus, 3 megs of L2 cache, and 4 gigs of DDR3 memory at 1066 dual symmetric. Okay, so that mostly seems to work. The optical drive does fill me a wee bit with dread, but oh well. You know, it could be just Dell being Dell. You know, if there's no hard disk present, then suddenly it doesn't want to know any optical drives either. So, with that said, I will power this system down, and just temporarily I will put the lid back on, and I will go away and order. Just pricked my head on the corner of that keyboard. That is very sharp. Oh, there we go. What I will do, get a hard disk candy ordered for this and the screws, and then hopefully we'll get this up and running. So, with that said, that will conclude this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. If you have, please feel free to subscribe to Video Sans Frontières. And also, please feel free to like me on Video Sans Frontières on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and please join me for my next video. Cheery bye.